This is a production of KMmedia.pro. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. Our goal is simple: to explore evolving ideas one conversation at a time. So come on over into our world. I know you'll like it, because on today's show... today's show, we've got a great show for you. I hope that you'll stay with us for the entire time. We not only have got award-winning authors and a Grammy-nominated author, and we've got a musical group called Sisters J and a world premiere, not quite a world premiere, but a brand new song that they've put together, and we're going to be talking about all of that with our guest today. And to lead things off, Eric, first of all, how are you?
Hello, Kevin. Happy Friday.
It is a great Friday afternoon. I'm really enjoying the day, and I'm really looking forward to the show because I'll tell you what, the talent that exudes from this group is nothing short of amazing. Now, he's not going to be with us today, but he was on earlier today. Have you heard of a gentleman by the name of Ted Perlman?
That name sounds familiar, but refresh my memory.
He toured with and has produced records for, and he's been an arranger. He's worked with people that you may have heard of from time to time. One would be Whitney Houston.
Oh, I've definitely heard of her.
Yes, indeed. Harry Belafonte, Bob Dylan, Absolutely. Diana Ross, Burt Bacharach, Ron Isley, the Manhattans, Ringo Starr, Joe Cocker, Chicago, and Young MC, and he's been a producer for these guys, and he produces Sisters J, and Wonderful. He swears to me that they are every bit as talented and as good as maybe you heard of Whitney Houston, rest her soul.
Of course, yes.
Yes, and so
I've heard of all those folks that you mentioned, so...
I know, and the backstory is nothing short of incredible for them, but it all starts with the mom, and that is, her name is Mary, and Mary Elizabeth Jackson, and she is a star in her own right, and I don't think she gets enough credit because she's got such a remarkable family behind her, but we're going to start off talking with Mary, and we're hoping that Mr. Thornton is going to be able to join us as well. Well, we don't know that yet.
It looks like we have both of them, so yeah, we can bring them on anytime you like.
Let's do it. Let's do it because we've got a packed show today, including we're going to play some videos, and we're going to talk to Elizabeth Jackson, who is a songwriter and has got an angelic voice. But first, we got to talk to Mom. Mary, how are you?
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much, and thank you for all those kind words. I am very humbled by them. I appreciate it. And hi, Thornton.
And Thornton, of course, is an award-winning author, songwriter.
Hello. Hey, Kevin.
How you doing? It's a long time. It's good to see you again.
That's great to see you on the show again. Hello to everybody in Seattle there and on your show. And hello, Mary, and hello, Eric, right? And
yes, and it's great to have you two here because Mary told me something that you guys are doing and had changed the name, and because Mary's famous for writing children's books, and so are you. You're also a singer-songwriter. You've been Grammy nominated several times. It really is, you guys as talented as I'll get at. And I'm just pleased as heck to have you here. So, but Mary says that you and her are collaborating on a series of children's books. Tell us about that. Either of you can lead into that.
Correct. It's 3. Mary, you want to go ahead? It's with a new, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we have a new publisher.
Well,
go ahead, Thornton.
Go ahead, Thornton.
No, I was just getting ready to say the same thing. We had the books have actually been published previously, but then they for various reasons they are now being republished. If you want to tell everybody about that, Mary.
Right.
Second edition, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, we lost our publisher last year in June, very suddenly. No one knew he was sick.
Did you catch that about?
Did I
Yes.
catch what?
Go ahead, Thornton.
Yes, I was just saying that the books were originally the first book was published back in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second book and the third book. But our publisher is now deceased, which is sad. Our previous publisher, and so we are now we shopped our material again, and this new publisher that we have, Norm's Triad, a fabulous publisher, is taking us under their wings, and they're publishing. Is that right? 4 books of ours. Is that right, Mary?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they're pushing.
Yes.
They're publishing 4 books, and
Yes.
they're under what name are they going to be under now?
Okay, so they were originally, I don't know if you can tell the story about it, but they were originally the Poolicious series. And according to, I guess, nowadays, that word is not as, it's not taken the way that it was intended. Originally, it's got a whole story behind it. My son inspired the series. We didn't know if he was going to survive or I was going to survive. And it's where the book started from, actually. And we've changed the names of the books, and they're going to be the Inspired Kids series. So we're really excited about that because I'm very passionate about, both of us are, about inspiring kids, empowering kids and adults, And so the first one's called Perfectly Me, which is sweet. It's for babies, like newborns, And then the second one is Look at Me, and it's crawling to walking and standing, that kind of thing. And then the third one is The Wonder of Me, and that is about ages 4 to 7, going into kindergarten, that kind of thing, first grade, second grade, depending on a child's reading level, of course. But it is the Inspired Kids series. And then Thornton and I will then move on to the Inspired Kids collection, which will be a variety of different books that we may be collaborating with a company out in California. We're really excited about that. And we have our middle grade reader called Cheers from Heaven that's getting a revamping, a new cover and everything. And that book is really very close to our heart as well. It's based on somewhat of a true story from Thornton's childhood. And it's a bullying story that has redemption to it. So these kids who bullied, they start to feel guilty and go to the child's parents and tell them. And then they ask for forgiveness. And the child they bullied left them like a treasure box of notes that sends them on this adventure. And they end up learning how to forgive themselves and be better friends and take ownership of their actions. So that book's really special too.
It's amazing to me because everything that you guys do is positive in nature. It's designed to help people understand some of the trials and tribulations that we all go through, and then to come out better on the other side. And the books are examples of that. And it's also partially an example of your family life and the backstory behind Sisters J and the kids and all the troubles that they had growing up, as far as some of the special needs that they had and that kind of thing. And now look at them now. They've Open When we published that, you allowed me to put that on my stuff. That's been viewed 24,000 times.
I know. Isn't that amazing? It's so amazing.
It is such a powerful song, and everything that they do. And we're going to talk about Breathe In a little bit when we talk to Elizabeth. And everything that you guys do is important, and it really is something. And I know, Thornton, that you've got a great deal to do with all of this, and that you guys are great collaborators. So tell us a little bit about your story and your award-winning stuff. Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you say tell me about it, or what?
Tell us about Thornton Klein just a little bit.
Could you repeat the question, because it came as a...
Oh, just tell us about Thornton Klein.
Tell you about some of the songs that were written lately, or about Open?
About About anything
Okay,
that
well, what would you like to
anything
know?
you'd like.
I'm working on a bunch of projects right now. Okay. Well, I'm working on a song for a movie, a Western movie that's supposed to be released next year. It has some well-known actors. And then let's see. Actually, the song is all finished. And then I'm working with an artist who's had 3 Billboard #1 country songs. His name is Chris Chitsey. And you can look him up in 2015 and 16. He's a country artist. Working with him now, and he's going to have one of his debut. It's been a while. That's why I call it debut, because it's been about maybe 7 years since he's been on the Billboard charts for a while. And the song that called Last Time I Saw You, it's called Last Time I Saw You, is going to be debuted to worldwide radio on September 12th. So I'm excited about that, and continue to work with various recording artists and working on projects for some films, movies too. So
Congratulations. You are behind the scenes kind of guy, but you're out there in front with all the works that you do.
He never sleeps, I'll tell you that. he and Ted never sleep.
So Mary, how did you and
yes,
Thornton get
and it's true. Did you know, most people don't know this, but your audience listeners.
Go ahead.
His audio may not be clear.
Talk about Mary?
Yeah, he's asking. You started to say most people don't know what.
Mary and I met back in 2000, I think.
2015 we met, and
oh yeah, most people don't realize that the writer himself, the writer takes a back seat. The writer takes a really big back seat, like, to everything. So most people don't realize that the writer usually is very insignificant. The writer is, and
but that's
it's very important, but just it's not recognized very much. So
it's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So I wrote the first book that's called Perfectly Me Now, and this is the suggestion from our amazing publishers that we love at Norton's Triad, Julie Northrup and Sahara Foley. So they're listening. We want to say hi to them because we're so grateful for them. I wrote the first book back in 2013 after my son was born late in life, and it was just some serious things happened, and we didn't know if everything was going to turn out okay. And I sat on it for about 2 years, and then I felt this nudging to say, you got to do something with this book. And I was like, I'm a mom. Who am I? Kind of thing. And so I went to somebody who I knew was published. It happened to be the headmaster at my daughter's school. And he said, I want to introduce you to somebody named Thornton Klein. And, he's an author, and he's a teacher, and he's written songs and stuff. And so we met, and at the time Thornton only had, I say only, 7 or 8 books published, but we met, and we hit it off right away. And he looked at everything I had written at that time, and he said, I really like this manuscript, and can I write 10 songs for the book? And of course I'm like, yeah, because you can't say no to this guy. Really say this to me, right? And so he was so excited about it. He wrote it in a week. He wrote 10 songs in a week, lullabies. They're just precious. And my girls went into his recording studio and recorded the songs. And so when the book was published, that's sort of how they started. They had been doing praise and worship for a long time at church, but how they got started, like, as together, was they were there for the launch of the book. We had a big party at the house here. And when we would do book events, the girls would go and perform the songs with us. And so here we are now, and
I want to tell everybody, but in the second half of the show, we're going to play a couple of these songs that they have done, that Ted Perlman and Thornton and you and them and this whole entourage of really intricate, important people have put together. Well, congratulations on doing this and everything that you're doing, because you are really out there and you're really helping each other, helping a lot of people in a real positive way. But I want to talk about your backstory a little bit, Mary, because your backstory, first of all, you're an advocate of
Yes.
autism as well as Down syndrome and those things. Tell us about your work doing that.
Well, I'm very passionate about it. And, I would say that's my backstory. And Thornton, his advocacy work, part of it is children and encouraging them. Like, he's one of the best teachers I have ever seen with children. And when we're out in public, there's always somebody who knows him, who he taught, or he taught their kids. And it's wonderful. I love it. But he's really good. He's taught my children as well. But, my advocacy journey started back when my second daughter was born, and turned out that she was language impaired, almost nonverbal. And she, 2.5, was about at an 18-month-old level developmentally. And so began this whole journey of something I never saw in my life. And doors were opened in a way into a world that I really had I had not a lot of awareness of. Now, I grew up, my mother, is like my hero. She, when I was a teenager, middle school, high school, I mean, she worked at the college, and she was coming into the college when the new laws were coming in for IDEA and things. She was able to write she was able to write grants and get funding to write and create all these programs for the students at the college who were in the handicap department, because that's what they called it back then in the 70s. And these programs are still used across the country today. But any time in my life growing up, we could have somebody blind or deaf at the house, or Down syndrome, or maybe cerebral palsy in a wheelchair, and they would come to the house and have dinner. And my mother made it an open home for folks to come to feel and get a nice meal, and have that family feel. So growing up with that, I had no idea how it would influence my life. But my daughter experienced significant trauma in elementary school, which then changed my path again as an advocate. I ended up, going to Capitol Hill and knocking on doors of senators and state reps, and you have to listen to me and my story, and you need to do something about this. This should never happen to any child, So I've done a lot of work there. And then after my son was born, I went and got certified through Vanderbilt University to be certified as an advocate, to be able to help other families as well. But I wanted to know for myself what my rights were, the laws, to be able to provide my children with everything they needed. And so that's been my journey as an advocate. I'm an ambassador advocate for Autism Tennessee. So I do a lot of community work for them and with them. We're getting ready to put together a concert with my girls, with Sisters J, and then some other artists to raise funds for Autism Tennessee and Down Syndrome Association. I'm really proud of that. But my path has also taken me into helping our local library create a sensory room for kids and make sure the library is available and prepared for folks of all walks of life to come in and have a parent resource area. So I'm really proud of that because literacy is so important, and I love the library so much, And so, if you're wherever you live in this world, if your library is not sensory friendly and things like that, then go in and talk to them, say, what can we do to change this?
That's amazing. What kind of response did you get when you started knocking on doors of the Capitol?
Oh, Kevin, that was really interesting. I was so driven at that time because somebody had hurt my child, right? So that inner mama bear power welled up in me, and it was like a force driving me, right? Like an out of body experience almost. I mean, I made phone calls. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went up there and knocked on doors. And I said, I need to talk to you about this. Who do I talk to? So I sat in meetings with senators, people on the Tennessee Education Board, and told my story and said, this should never happen to one child. What are you going to do about it? And then here are suggestions that I have. But it's interesting, whenever you should suggest something for a law or a bill that has money attached, you don't always get cooperation. And people don't want to admit when things bad are going on, right? So where I'm at now is, I actually I headed up some meetings last year with Autism Tennessee to coming at new laws for the disability community, because about 50% of people in the disability community are bullied in school, and about 20% in the typical community. And so we need to change that. But, I've been told laws are written every year to stop bullying, and not much is changing. So where is the solution? So we're working on some positive legislation for positive intervention academically, because if we can give kids tools at school that they're not getting at home or anywhere else, just to be able to self-regulate, understand their emotions, what's happening to them, be able to get into a better mental health space, we're going to cut down on a lot of problems, right? Because if a child can identify what's happening for them, instead of punching another child or yelling at another child or their siblings or parents, and they can go, oh, okay, I'm going to be okay. I'm just feeling this way right now. I mean, that would be amazing, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to point this out to everybody. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Mary Elizabeth Jackson. She is an advocate for special needs children. Her children have been special needs. You're going to hear some music from them in a little bit that is nothing short of amazing. And but I wanted to let everybody know that you were a mother and you were a
Mhm.
housewife. And
Yes.
you were writing your books and you were doing some stuff, but you decided to take it upon yourself to become an advocate and not to say no, and to get
Right.
out there and to really and while your story is special and it's unique, it can be duplicated by anybody who chooses to do something in a positive way. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%. That's why I think it's important, Kevin, for us to share our stories. It gives people hope, and it lets I'm an average Joe. Like, I wasn't born with a trust fund or limited funds or all this power. It's knowing that there are things that need to be changed and things that need to be righted, and that we truly have the power to do that. But we have to say something. The squeaky wheel gets heard. It was not created, that term, for no reason. I mean, we really have to talk up. If we don't say things when something is wrong and needs to be righted or made better, people up on Capitol Hill in every city in every state of our country, nothing ever changes if we don't say anything. So, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew God said, you got to go do this. I was like, all right, I'll go do this, but you got to tell me what to do, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Right. And I really didn't. I look back now and go, wow, would I still do that? Yes, I think I would, even today.
Of course you
And
would.
yes. And do we lose Thornton because he's not
Yep,
here?
we did. You- he lived in a place that had a bad connection, I think.
Yes, he does. I hate that for him, because I know he was trying to make sure everything was good for today, because he wants to be on here with us. And, we have a lot of history together. We've been working together since 2015, and we have a great working relationship, honestly, that works very well creatively. And you don't always find that with other people, you know? And so I'm really, truly grateful for it. And we're co-writing with the country. Well, he's not really, I guess he's country, Southern Christian country rock, and his father's famous. And we are writing a song with him right now. So we're very, very excited about that. Is he coming back on? Yay!
We're hoping. We're hoping. By the
I
way,
know.
we're
Yeah. Cross
talking with
fingers. Cross fingers.
yeah, we're talking with Mary Elizabeth Jackson, and you can go to her website, which is
Mhm.
maryejackson.com, and you can find out all about her. And if you are a person that you have special needs kids, or you have a something that you would like to really become a mama bear and to go talk to the powers that be, can they email you and get some advice from you, Mary?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, I did. Yeah, Elizabeth is she's getting ready. Yes, I absolutely. Please email me. I think at the bottom of my website, there's like contact me. You know, um, I am going to work on writing a book for parents, you know, that's got, because like my training, my binder is about 5 inches thick, right? So I want to condense some of that down and to separate that into like things that can be downloaded easily for families. You know, I was a deer in the headlights with my children, especially my middle daughter, Lily. And I didn't know what I was doing and felt so lost and alone. And so I really, ever since then, have always felt like I want to help others. So when I've done live streams, when I've done, Carson, my youngest son, and I did some live streams for a while through the local library about 2 years ago. And we would do very simple, it was called Kidding Around, you know, and we would do very easy crafts and science projects for children of all abilities and challenges. And so I really love being able to share resources and tools with others and things that help. And, you know, the best thing we can do for ourselves is to empower ourselves by learning what's happening with our child, educating ourselves so we can empower them. But there he is.
There you are.
Yeah, sorry about that. Boy, some not very reliable streaming things going on here with the internet. So
the tech gremlins are after you.
I appreciate the time, and I appreciate you coming on, Thornton and Mary. And I know Elizabeth is chomping at the bit that she wants to come on. Now, you guys are welcome to stay. When we do this, I need to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by Elizabeth Jackson, who is part of Sisters J. The other one is indisposed at the moment, but we're going to talk to we're going to talk to Elizabeth, and we're going to play a couple of her songs that she wrote when she was, gosh, she must 16. Have been 16 whole years old when she wrote these songs.
Hey, listen, why don't you just come over here?
Thank you, Kevin, by the way, for inviting us on the show. Thank you, listeners, Seattle and
Canada.
Yeah, Canada too. Yeah.
Yes, and Canadians are listening to us. Hey,
hey.
Yes. And Thornton, you're welcome to stay on. And if Elizabeth is going to join us, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back more with Sisters J, Mary, and Thornton. It's going to be a great second half to the show. So please stay with us. You have to listen to these songs, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Positive Talk Radio. Hey, PTR loyal listener. First, thanks for being in my dream. And second, I have a new concept in business to share with you. It's called socialpreneurship. So, what's that? Well, it's the idea that any company designates all profits beyond expenses to be awarded to a local or international charity or project which is working to achieve good in the world. KM Media is such a company. We believe that it's important for us to give back whenever possible and to make great things happen. So I hope you'll join us in creating this new business model that will positively impact all of us. In the next few weeks, we will lay out the plan and begin our fundraising efforts. So stay tuned for more details right here on Positive Talk Radio.
When you want to say more than words communicate, you can with flowers. Your custom boutique floral studio in Bothell, Washington is anaturaldesign.com, connecting you to nature through the language of flowers. Where your people are is where our flowers are beautiful. Your success is our goal. anaturaldesign.com at your fingertips today.
Hey, thanks for listening to Positive Talk Radio. Did you know that we're also a media production company? Well, surprise, we are. We can create all kinds of audio, video products to fill any need. Please visit kmmedia.pro/our-store for a complete list of products and services. In addition, do you need a great voice to add to your own website or any other project? I know that we can add depth and quality to your work. I've been told more times than I can count by many professionals in the business that my voice adds to the quality of the presentation. So let me create something for you. Please contact me at kevin@kmmedia.pro and let's create something great. And welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. My name is Kevin McDonald, and boy, have I got a show for you the second half of the show. Elizabeth Jackson is with us. Hey, Lizzie, how you doing, kid?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's your sister feeling today?
She's feeling a lot better today than she was yesterday.
Oh, good. The wisdom teeth thing is a terrible thing, and it's hard. But I'm glad she's doing well. But I'm really excited to talk to you. I get a chance. I have only got to talk to you when Ted is here, and Ted kind of soaks up all the oxygen in the room, and and your mom and everybody else. But it's really a pleasure to talk to you about your life, and all the things that you're doing and where you're going and all of that kind of stuff. So welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Thank you for having me. This is really fun.
Well, I'm glad because it's exciting. You are a budding singer. While you're a seasoned vet as a singer, and you're a budding songwriter. And we've got a couple of songs queued up that we're going to be playing during this period because they're really important and they're really cool. And
Thank you.
and tell me how you wrote them. What was that all about?
Which one are we talking about specifically?
Let's start with open win.
Okay. Also, I'm sorry if the camera's shaking. My dog is under this, and her tail is wagging, and it's hitting the camera.
Right. We like dogs. We like dogs on the show.
Come here, baby. She's a precious little being. I love her. So open win. I wrote with my mother and with Thornton Klein. And that was a cool experience. It took a little while to get it rolling, just to get all of our schedules to line up. But we wanted to, it came from a true story, part of it, like bits and pieces from my life story, with being in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend. And also from receiving open win letters from my mom when I was at school, because I was 3 hours away. So sometimes if I needed something shipped to me, she would put letters in for me to open at certain points, like open if you need a hug, blah, 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 blah. And that came from ideas. When some of my friends graduated from high school, we would send them with open win boxes to go to school with them. So they had a piece of home with them. Which I think is just such a beautiful thing. And we tried to put that into a song, saying, like, even when somebody's far away, you can send a piece of them with you, because actually writing something out is so much more genuine and heartfelt than like a text message. And like a text message is still genuine, but when you take the time to write something, it's so different. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a love song. It can be, well, I mean, between like romantically, it can be about like a loved one or a family member that is far away. And so the idea is to just create a song that everybody can listen to and love and things like that. So
I had never heard of that concept before. So let me just reiterate it to make sure that everybody's clear. What she did and what they advocate doing is if somebody's far away from you and you are wanting to be in touch with them, a lot of times when you are away and you're alone and you get lonely, you need a moment in time where you can touch home. And when you pick up one of these little cards that has got just a little message on it, it can help you through a dark time. And that's what you guys did with this is it's not necessarily, see, a text message. I don't know, maybe I'm old school, but a text message can be kind of impersonal, and it can be when you're in the mood to write a text message or whatever. This is when you're feeling alone and you're feeling not cared for by anybody. You can pick up one of these cards and suddenly it's like you're back home again. I think it's the absolutely coolest thing.
yes, I love it. Some of my friends that they were going to graduate the year after me in high school. They all put a box together for me to take
for college when I was a freshman, because I was the only person from my school going to the school where I went, so I didn't know anybody. So it was really nice to take a piece of home with me. And like some of them were like, open when you need song suggestions, open when you're having boy trouble, open when you need a hug, just like little personal things. It was super, super fun. And I think that should be something that is more widely known about and used, because it's such a beautiful thing.
And speaking of beautiful things, you created a beautiful song with Ted and with Thornton and your mom, and putting it together, and with Lily, and the two of you performed this. And Eric, if we can cue Open Wind up, I'd like to play a good chunk of that so that people can get an idea. And also, if you want to go to Sisters J, the YouTube channel, or actually if you go to sistersj.com, you can watch the videos. If you're listening to this on KIXI and you can't hear or you can't see it, they've got beautiful videos that are really heartfelt, and I dare you, they're going to make you tear up, I promise. So can we play a little bit of Open Wind?
Oh, you know, my boyfriend's going off to college soon, and it's pretty far away. I'm just kind of worried for him.
Hey, do you remember that thing that I did last year for my boyfriend?
Yeah, I do.
Let's do that when I get home.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. I love you.
Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Make no mistake, we can't fool ourselves. Nothing we can do about the distance. The miles between us, a part of me is missing. A road through a lifetime for every day we've been together. Open each one when you think of me and the love between us. Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Words you might need written from my heart, sealed with my kiss while we're apart. Open never said love would be easy. Sending you a part of me to make you smile, to feel my love constantly. When we're finally in each other's arms, we'll pick up where we both left off, as if time and space were never lost, and our loves always existed with you. Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Words you might need written from my heart, sealed with my kiss while we're apart. Open when one day these letters will lead me back to you. That's when I'll find your loving arms. Find your arms away. Till this will have to do. This will have to do.
And please, you need to go listen to that song, and go ahead and even buy it. That would be really cool. So thank you for writing that, by the way, and thank you. Thornton has joined us again, and Thornton, you had a hand in that song, didn't you? Can you hear me? He's having audio problems again. So in any event, Thornton, thank you for your contributions to that. And by the way, I told Mary, did you know that on Positive Talk Radio, the YouTube channel, that's been downloaded over 24,000 times?
No, I did not. That is amazing. That is so
It is
cool.
it is a special song, and it's done by two special young ladies, and one is 19, one is 22. I think I got that right. Am I right?
Almost. I just turned 23 last month.
Well, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
And now you guys have won awards. You've been on you've performed in front of 15,000 people. What's that like to perform in front of 15,000 people?
Very surreal. It's really cool, and you kind of black out when it happens.
Really?
But that's just my experience. I remember all of it, but it happened so fast. Like I wish not to just be up in front of that amount of people, but to perform with my sister and just do music. Because it's one of my favorite things to do. And like when we performed in the festival this last weekend, it happened like that. It's like, did it actually happen? It's interesting. It's really cool though.
Well, it's like doing shows like this. The hour goes by so incredibly fast for me because I really enjoy talking to the people and you guys, you've been on the show before. I love your message. I love the people that you are, the group of people that you have surrounded yourself with, and the energy that they all bring, and you're all doing it for the same reason, and that is to bring light to the world. And I thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you. We love talking with you too, and we appreciate every single time we get to come on and hang out with you. It's
You
wonderful.
guys are you guys are so nice and you're so cool. It's so fun. So, do you anticipate that you and Lily are going to um make a career out of singing? I know Lily is an illustrator, she's an actress, so are you, and she's a writer, and you guys do a bunch of stuff. Are you guys going to become a thing?
Well, I think we really would love to. That's what we're striving for right now. Um, and I think all of our other passions might just be something we do on the side. But we'll see where God leads us. So,
Well, if you listen to Ted Perlman, who I gave his bio before you came on, a little bit of all the people that he's worked with, and he will sit there, and he did it on the show earlier that we did on KKNW, and he said that you are the two of the best people he's ever worked with, including Whitney Houston and others, and he just really applauds your abilities because your harmonies are amazing.
thank you. I don't know. There's something that they say about family harmonies because your voices are so similar that they just blend so much better. And when you've lived together and done things together, you understand each other's inflections and stuff. And Lily is just really, really dadgum talented, so that helps. But it's such a honor for Ted to speak about us like that. Sometimes I think he's joking because he likes to joke a lot, but I know it's very
Yeah.
intentional, and we're very blessed to be able to work with him. And it's been a really fun ride to be able to do so, especially when we're striving for the same thing. And that helps a lot when you go in the same direction for the same
Yeah,
reason.
I said before that Ted has the ability to take the oxygen out of the room.
Yes,
Uh,
he does. But that
and
means he
but he's
likes
he's an yeah, yeah, and he actually joined my positive connections group. So that I thought that was pretty
Wonderful.
cool.
Yeah.
He is He's a great. I would love to, and I would love to do a positive connections group and have you guys come and sing.
That would be wonderful. We would love to do that. That would be very, very cool.
Because I tell you, you guys have got an amazing amount of talent, and what I like about your style more so is that it's good for any generation. Us old folks can appreciate it, the young people can appreciate it, and because it's really real, and you don't use auto tune, and you don't do any of those things, that you do stuff that is real and it is heartfelt. And how did you get become the writer that you are? Because we're going to play Breathe In just a moment, and that is the latest one that you've produced, and it is so heartfelt and so warm and so loving. I love it because it's got special needs kids in it. It's got people that are happy and joyful, and it's a wonderful, wonderful little video. So I encourage everybody to go to Sisters J, the YouTube channel, and watch all of them, because we're not going to have time for Clearly, which is the third one that I wanted to get up, because that's a beautiful song as well. Um,
Thank you.
but I tell you, you guys, you put it together, and it is just seamless. It's timeless, I think.
Thank you. That means a lot. That one holds a special place in my heart too. I think the whole writing journey has just been a part of my growth as a person. And I've said on your show before, when I was younger, I had a hard time expressing things. And so mom has always tried to help give us tools to be able to express ourselves, whether that be through sports, music, etc. And so she told me to write it down if I could. And that's where I found a lot of my peace growing up, was being able to get everything out on paper. And I've always loved to write. I've loved to write poetry. That's where all of that came from. Inspiration from other artists. Like, a lot of my favorite artists are just real people in the studio and outside of it. And they talk about real things. And that's what I want to do in this life, is to be real and to bring light to the world. And it's okay to talk about the hard things and just be real about those things and walk towards the light as well. So I think one of my biggest inspirations is my mom and my dad, because I'm a lot like him. And yeah, I think that's where the journey is right now. And I know that I'll keep going forward, because it's such a big part of myself. And I know as I keep growing, so will that. I mean, that's the goal, to keep growing in that aspect as well. But
You will. I tell you, I've interviewed you guys several times now, and every time that I interview you, I find out more about what a tremendous backstory there is. Because you think about this, you Mary had the oldest child who was very, very shy. That's you. Had a middle child who was not verbal for the first couple of years of her life, and then had a very difficult pregnancy and birth of the youngest one. And so she's become an advocate for special needs, which, when you listen to you and Lily sing, you would have no earthly idea that you were shy as a child, or she was nonverbal as a child. None of that would have made any sense at all, because we would sitting here today, we're going, oh, they're angelic voices, they're perfect, and they're beautiful, and all that kind of stuff. We would never put those things together, but that's part of life, and it's part of growing, and it's part of having those experiences that have led you to where you are today, and to where you're going into the future. And you're also been teaching, and you do all kinds of stuff. So congratulations. It's Can I be 23 again?
thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Because you've got so much to look forward to. Let's talk about Breathe In. Tell me about
That
that
song, it has I think one of the longest stories out of all the songs that we've put out so far, because it began in 2016 when I was 16. Not that that's important, but blah blah blah. And I wanted to write a lullaby, and it didn't turn into a lullaby, but I think it can be interpreted anyway. I wanted to write a song to help people struggling with anxiety and stress, which is most of the people in the world, including myself, whatever that may be for that one person. And the words just kind of came to me. I really believe that they were given to me by God. And I asked Lily to come help me write the last half of it, and we figured it out together. And she put in harmonies. We figured out what sounded good. And originally we called it Who You Are, because that's just one of our biggest things in life, is just to remain who we are, know who we are. And for us, it's being a child of God. And because every time I've gotten lost in life, if I can just recenter myself on that fact, then I can figure everything out, and just kind of, depending on how big the issue is. But the idea is to just remind everybody to breathe, because that's what the song is called, Breathe In, and that's what the main message is, and just to remember to breathe when times get tough, because that's one of the first things that goes. You forget to breathe in life. And so if you can just do that, then you can take a couple more steps, one foot after the other, and things like that. So that's the whole idea behind the song.
It is a very, very intelligent idea, and to come up with it when you're 16, I got to tell you, you're a talented young lady. You've got a real future ahead of you. And with the team of A players that have been assembled around you, from the producer, for the co-writers, for your sister, everybody, you've got the world at your feet. You're going to be able to do a lot of great things.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Elizabeth.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to go out with playing Breathe In, and we'll let Eric play as much of it as he can before we run out of show, but I want to get at least 3 or 4 minutes of it in. Again, go to maryejackson.com. That's the mom. Go to sistersj.com. That's the singing duo. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And again, this is Breathe In, Sisters J. Go and buy this piece of music. It will do you good.
Lay your head down beside me. Release all